Red Butterfly, pages 162 to 196. Questions. The woman who takes care of the girl in the next bed whispers, eyes darting. Where is the woman who was here before? The very old foreign woman with the white hair. At first, I pretend to not understand, but slowly the persistence of her questions wears through my fear. I don't know, I whisper, sniffing back a sob. The woman nods. Eat this. She hands me Bing, flat bread Mama told me is like a tortilla in America. The woman tells me the hospital staff are asking questions. They will move Jody to the expensive ICU if there is no one but a child to take care of her. The nurses are complaining about the extra work. I'm sorry, she says. I thought you should know the truth. I nod, strangely grateful for her honesty. I will take care of my sister until my mother comes back. Brave words from a not-so-brave heart. The woman tilts her head. She does not ask me how Jody could be my sister. She only says, good girl. Jody wakes. Ma still not back? I shake my head. How long have I been asleep? Worry darts behind her eyes. Has anybody called Willard? Does he know I'm sick? I imagine Willard, Matthew, and Madison, and the big dog Sparky all at home eating American pizza, expecting that Jody is on her way over the ocean. I pat her arm and say, it'll be okay, even though every word could be a lie. Even Jody. Jody can sit up and drink soup from the kind woman's supply. I help her with the spoon. How long has she been gone? Tell me, Kara. When I say since yesterday afternoon, I'm queasy with betrayal, as if my holding the words unspoken kept them from being true. Jody takes the news quietly, pale eyes in a white moon face. Where do you think she went? She said she was going home, I say. I'll be fine, Jody says. Go home, see if she's still there. I protest because the nurses expect family to take care of patients, and I'm already doing a bad job. Let them earn their money, Jody says, the texture of her old self chafing against her weakness. But as I near the door, fear flutters that I will not find Jody if they take her to the ICU, that I will lose absolutely everything I have called mine. Even the loud sister I never wanted. Old friend. At least my red bicycle is waiting where I left it in the bike parking area. Hot tears steal down my cheeks at the sight of my old faithful friend. At least I can still fly. At home, hands shake inserting the key, fingers slippery with sweat. Click on the lights, dusty floor from dirty shoes traipsing through. Most of the furniture gone. The couch, the TV, the dining room table. Mama's wardrobe burst open, clothes scattered, a missing suitcase. A letter scrawled in Mama's sideways writing. Must go with police. Daddy on his way. Don't be alarmed, the landlord took furniture in exchange for rent. I don't know what will happen, Kara dear. I failed you. Remember this, I love you more than words can say. Always have and always will. Maybe. Maybe Daddy will come and save us. Maybe he will buy me a sugared hawberry stick from a street vendor, pay the landlord the money we owe, and get back all our furniture, even the birdcage. Hey there, Jim. Good Jim. There you go, Jimmy. Maybe he'll bring Jody back to our apartment, then announce, teaching English is my thing. China's my thing. My family's my thing. Who needs Montana and mountains when I can have my girls? Maybe he'll bring back Mama's smile, make us a family again. Maybe it's just like the Jane Austen box set. Seems impossible, but then there it is. Backpack. 3 pairs of underwear, 2 shirts, 1 pair of shorts, 2 toothbrushes, 1 tube of toothpaste, Jody's fancy American facial wash, 10 bags of strawberry yogurt with straws, 1 loaf of bread, 1 jar 2/3 full of peanut butter, 1 plastic knife, Jane Austen box set, and of course, Jane Eyre. I leave a note for Daddy beside Mama's, a page ripped from my school notebook. I tell him which hospital, what to say to a taxi driver, which floor, which room, and leave the door ajar. Handshake. A shadow waits at the base of the stairs, next to the rows of metal mailboxes. When Zhao Bin emerges, my instinct is to run, but he has already seen me. He holds out his hand. Good luck, he says in English, perfectly. I stuff my stub hand in my pocket, grasp his extended hand with my whole one. Up, down go our hands in a strange, imbalanced swing until they slip apart. He holds the metal security gate open so I can step out into the night, run, face burning to my bike, wishing I had the courage to tell the truth, to hold out my half hand, to say a real goodbye to an underestimated friend. Dark ride. My bicycle wheels spin down the dim road. The car's headlights stream light, but several street lamps have burned out. A man calls out from the shadows, but he's no one I know. I pedal faster. This is a poor part of town, with black alleys. A tattered upside-down luck sign flutters in a patched doorway. A woman stares out a window, the room behind her lit in red. Still there. Jody is in the same bed, same ward, not sleeping, her eyes like an owl's in the dark. I tell her about Mama, that Daddy is coming. I ask her if she thinks they'll put Mama in jail because she didn't turn me in when she found me. Maybe if we told the stern policeman that Mama didn't mean any harm taking me in, that I like living with her, maybe he'd understand. Jody's brow crinkles, a weak, interrupted series of furrows. You think Mom's in trouble because of you, she says. Oh, honey, Mom hasn't had a visa to live in China since Dad lost his teaching job. I'm so sorry, Kara. I should have told you. Clear. Now so clear, all the hiding and whispering and bundling up to go outside so a foreign woman wouldn't be recognized, wouldn't be asked for her paperwork. Big love, stupid love, just like Zhang Laoshi said. Questions. What will happen to Mama? Will they put her in jail? Jody thinks they'll repatriate her, which means they'll send her back to her Montana mountains. That doesn't sound so bad for her. I imagine Mama getting back to her mountains, to her husband, her grandchildren. I imagine her smiling all the time, the way she smiled in that picture from Zhangzhou, the way her name smiles because she wrote it with curls and hearts. I imagine all of them without me. I imagine myself forgotten. Attributes. I should have counted my attributes on my other hand, the hand with only 2 nubs. That would have been about right. Soft-voiced Jody. Jody's voice has gone soft, squishy, different. For the first time, I can see her as the mother of 2 children who are just a little younger than me. Don't give up yet. We'll figure something out, okay? We're not going to leave you here alone. You hear me? I want to believe her. Smoke. I don't know what happens to an almost 12-year-old girl with bad Chinese with only 2 short fingers on her right hand. I don't know what happens to a girl who's been raised to be American but who isn't really American at all. I don't know what happens to a girl with no identity, no adoption, no real family. Maybe Daddy will stay for a while until they get this thing with Mama's visa sorted out, Jody says. But her words are thin as smoke, carried away as soon as she speaks them. Daddy, 3 days waiting in one room, then waiting is suddenly, unexpectedly over. Daddy arrives with Willard, and I see him as if for the first time. A bald man with thin arms who squints through thick glasses. This is my father, the savior, a very old man. I push my face into his chest, wrap my arms around his body, nod when he says, "You've grown," as if he's surprised. All the while I attempt to latch on to a rush of relief that never surfaces. Translator. I'm Willard's translator. He wants Jody moved to a private room. Money is no object. Then he changes his mind. He wants her transferred to Beijing to the International Hospital pronto. He waves insurance cards that mean nothing here. The administrators begin to mutter to say, "Pay us up front," which means right now. Willard says that's not how it works in America. The administrators want cash, but all Willard waves in their faces are plastic credit cards. Negotiator. Daddy hangs at the edge of the ward near the door, only coming close to hug Jody and me, tapping his foot all the time. A cell phone attached to his ear. He's talking to the American embassy. "Those police better treat her right or heads are gonna roll," I hear him say in a voice too loud for the ward. Everyone else has gone silent. Taken. 4 policemen crowd the room, followed by administrators brandishing pens and clipboards. 4 in China is an unlucky number. 4 in Chinese has the same sound as death, just different tones. 4 policemen, 2 for Daddy to take him to Mama, 2 for me to take me away somewhere else. A policeman lays a slender hand on my shoulder. "Where are they taking her?" Jody asks. All the women in the ward stare at me like I'm a finally captured criminal living under their noses. Their faces whirl, blaming, blurring, blinding. Who can save me? Daddy? Joey? Willard? But they hold still. No one moves even a notch as I'm guided to the door. Behind me, Jody begins a long, high wail. Nurses shush her, scolding the police, the administration, for causing commotion. The room is packed with people, watching, elbowing. "We'll find you," Daddy calls after me. "They won't get away with this." Who are they? The police? The law? The policewoman pushes me ahead of her through the crowd. Jody's wail follows us to the elevator, and the door slides shut. New place. I slump in the back of the police car alone, listening to the 2 officers discuss me through the glass divider. "This is Tong Fu Li Yuan," says the woman as we drive past the guardhouse through a silver gate that folds back like a hand fan. I only recognize 2 words: children, garden. I wish I could feel something to remind me I'm alive, but the only ache remaining is a repeated memory, the moment when Daddy should have moved to reach for me, but didn't. It's all a slow-moving dream as the gate creaks shut behind us, and I am locked in. Miss Lee. Miss Lee works in the office on the 2nd floor. She is pretty and young and wears tight pants with high heels. I sit in a wooden chair, waiting, thinking something is missing. My foggy brain can't remember what. There is a printer and 3 computers in this room. The desk at my elbow has photos under the glass of smiling babies, all of them with foreign parents. Miss Lee nods at the pictures. "We'll find you a new family very soon," she says in Chinese. "I already have a family," I say. Miss Lee laughs like I've made a joke and goes back to tap, tap, tapping her keyboard. I just remembered what I forgot. My heart turns hard as stone, my backpack at the hospital. I have come here empty-handed. Chinese name. I curl and uncurl my fingers around my right hand. "Do you have a Chinese name?" Miss Lee asks. I shake my head. "Do you have an English name?" I nod. "You are fluent in English?" Again, I nod. Miss Lee's eyes widen. "You will be easy to match." She pats my head, writes quickly on a pad of paper, swift Chinese characters flowing and swaying. "This is your new name, a gift for you." I take the paper, although I can't read Chinese. My room. Miss Lee takes me down a long hallway and up 2 flights of stairs into a big room with fluorescent lights and red and blue squishy mats tiling the floor. We stand in the doorway. Miss Lee removes her heels. I bend down to untie my sneakers. There are a lot of kids here, big kids and 2 older women who must be helpers because they wear blue aprons over their clothes. In Chinese, they are called Ais, auntie in English. The 2 Ais stare at me and throw out comments to one another across the room. I can't understand everything, but I understand this. I thought she was a foreigner. No, she's a Chinese girl. I want to answer the way Mama always answered, I'm both, but Miss Lee cuts in. She is Chinese, raised by foreigners, so her Chinese is bad. The Ayis laugh at that. I speak a little, I say. Then wish I'd kept my mouth shut, because they exchange amused glances. Even the kids sitting at a big table look back and forth at each other, like I'm a joke. I don't know where I am. I don't want to stand in the doorway of this room and let everyone stare at me. Where do I go? I whisper to Miss Lee. There are kids everywhere, but they all seem to have problems. They sit in wheelchairs or lie on floor mats, their bodies twisted. The room is filled with the sound of funny breathing and the faint murmur of tinkling music from a small CD player plugged into the wall. There are whispers, too, always whispers from the kids who sit around the table. One girl taps her pencil in time to the music while she watches me. This is your room, Miss Lee says. You sleep here and study here and go to the cafeteria for meals. I don't see any beds, only brightly colored floor mats. Everyone watches, and I begin to wonder if they're waiting for me to cry. What's wrong with you? One of the Ayis asks. A wide-shouldered woman with large curls sprayed stiff. Her way of speaking reminds me of Xiaobin's mother. I don't know what she means, so I say nothing. Miss Lee holds up my arm and tugs back the sleeve to reveal my stub hand. Then she explains my difference to the Ayis using technical words. All I recognize is shu, 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 the Chinese word for hand. The Ayis nod and say, ah, ah, ah. Miss Lee releases my arm. No problem, she says in English. The kindness in her smile takes me by surprise.